Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, bootlickers, shills, desolate serfs, peasants, vassals, historians. I'm a useful idiot, and today I want to talk about Aleppo, Syria. And this city has been in the public eye for the last several years now because it's been a central focal point of the fighting in Syria. And one of the things that's interesting about history is that history repeats. Or I believe it was Mark Twain who said that history may not repeat, but it certainly rhymes. And one of the things I certainly note about history is that lessons do not seem to be learned. And Aleppo is a good example of that. Aleppo, Syria, and it's been the scene of well over 2,000 years, perhaps even 3,000 years of war. It has been the witness of, and it's at a crossroads, an important juncture in the Eurasian area, where it makes it the stomping ground of invading armies going back and forth through Asia, the Middle East, Africa, and Europe. And so anyway, I'm going to run down a little bit of this history just to show you what Aleppo, Syria has witnessed, and to this day is wallowing in unfathomable violence. So it starts back in 2250 BC when the Sumerians attacked Aleppo, and they transported the entire population and destroyed the city. And then in 1595 BC, the Hittites attacked Aleppo. And then in 1545 BC, the Mitanni drove the Hittites out of Syria. And then in 1332 BC, the Hittites recaptured Aleppo from the Mitanni. Then in 744 BC, the Assyrians laid a 3-year siege on Aleppo, and their leaders were impaled on the walls, and the population was deported. Then in 538 BC, the Persians captured Syria, and they took Aleppo as well. In 333 BC, Alexander the Great took Aleppo. And by 64 BC, the Romans were going to be in Aleppo, Syria. Of course, sooner or later, we knew the Romans were going to be in Aleppo, Syria. 637 AD, Byzantine Empire falls to the Muslims, and Aleppo is the last Byzantine fortress to fall to the Muslims. Then in 963 AD, Byzantines recapture Syria and sack Aleppo. And then in 1086 AD, Aleppo is captured by the Turks. Then in 1125 AD, the Crusaders lay siege to Aleppo, Syria. Then by 1260 AD, a combination, oddly enough, Christian-Mongol army takes Aleppo, and they slaughtered and enslaved the entire population of Muslims and Jews. Then in 14 AD, the Tatars, under Tamerlane, lay siege to Aleppo, and they again slaughtered the Jews and supposedly built a pyramid of 20,000 skulls. Then in 1516 AD, Syria Aleppo was incorporated into the Ottoman Empire. Then in 1832 AD, it was captured by the Egyptians. Then in 1840 AD, it was captured by the Turks. And then by 1918, it was captured by the British. And then we have Syrian independence, and now we find ourselves in the midst of this Syrian civil war, where Aleppo has been the scene of supposed chemical attacks and all sorts of atrocities between the Free Syrian Army, the Al-Qaeda elements, and the Assad government. All of them with their hands covered with blood. And once again, as a historian, one of the things I'm always interested in is all the lost world heritage in cities like this, and these ideals that are used to justify the kind of violence we see unleashed on a city like this. And in our case, a city that's had this sort of violence unleashed on it for 3,000 years. So one episode was one that happened back October 13th, 2012, and that's the Umayyad Mosque in Syria, in Aleppo, Syria. And it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the oldest mosques in the world. And this grounds of this mosque, not only are Qurans burned in piles, but there's a mass grave of women and children. that were purportedly massacred and raped while these Al-Qaeda elements were drunk. And then we also have on April 25th, 2013, a minaret was destroyed in Aleppo, Syria, that was 1,400 years old, and managed to survive all those invasions going back 1,400 years. And so what this shows is that history repeats, history rhymes, lessons are not learned. War is part of human nature and spread across thousands of years, and certain cities like Aleppo, Syria, have seen untold violence for centuries and millennia, and will continue to do so apparently. And also, like I say, the loss to humanity of world heritage and these historical sites and these wonderful mosques and these ancient Qurans and the dignity of humanity all seem to be lost in these places and these focal points for violence. But what it also shows is that these ideals that are supposedly held and why this violence is perpetrated on a city like Aleppo, Syria, really have nothing to do with it. Because we have a country like Syria that is besieged by various sects who all claim to be religious believers. And they all follow essentially the same religion, Islam, and yet they're able to destroy mosques that are 1,400 years old. They're able to get drunk and rape women and children, kill them, and throw them into open mass graves, and also burn Qurans. And so all this violence that's perpetrated for 3,000 years in the city of Aleppo, Syria, in the end, means nothing. I'm a useful idiot. Don't you be one too.